Hello, slots enthusiasts. How are you? I'm John Friedel. Welcome to Professor Slots, a channel where you learn to play slots smarter to ultimately leave the casino with your winnings. It's great to see you all here again at my home for another Professor Slots podcast episode and live stream. If you're with us live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots-related questions. I'm just checking to make sure the live chat doesn't say your volume's off or something. Right. So if you're with us live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots related questions. I'll check in with the live chat a little later in the show. Oh, and a special thanks to Paula for being our moderator today. Thanks, Paula. I think we pulled her from the garden where she was working to do this today. But thanks. And thanks also to the many new slots enthusiasts participating in this weekly live stream or download my podcast episode, since this will become a podcast episode, a large part of it. It's great to have you all here. In the last it's been 3 weeks since my last live stream. I feel like I'm confessing. It's been 3 weeks since my last live stream, which I appreciated your patience on. I launched my online course, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I do appreciate your patience. In the meantime, in the last month, I've gotten 3,500 new subscribers and about 10,000 views per day. So my channel is growing really well. And I thank you so much for that. So today we're going to be diving into my 5-spin slot strategy, including an updated testing strategy, plus a bonus on how to improve your results at casinos, which offers tastes, but have reduced the sizes of those tastes. That's a problem, and we looked into it, and I have something for you. So be sure to stick around for that bonus. And we have... That's one. That's two. Thank you, Magpie, and I'll show that for you. Thank you, Magpie, for your donation. It is very much appreciated in support of the show. Also, thank you to Chuck for the super chat. His comment in the super chat is, anyone finished the course yet? Planning on start today. I know Chuck was traveling and now he's back. So we'll see if anybody answers that. And I'll quickly answer a question. Ramon asks, planning on going to Morongo, that's in California, Tribal Casino in California. Would this tactic work there? I've had some reports that it doesn't. You can check for yourself pretty cheaply, but I have had some reports that it doesn't work there, and like 3 in the last week or 2. And so you should be aware of that. Just go easy. Okay. Right. And I think I'm caught up on stuff. Good. And so since my last live stream, I've successfully launched my first online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. You can take it at a leisurely pace of 1 lesson per day or a lot faster. Yes, it can be completed in a day if a rather long day, but I recommend taking more time than that, as you may want to take time to consider its assignments, tasks, and concepts. Some of them may be new to you. So thanks to those who have already signed up to my 30 days course, but a beta version discounted by over 50% from its future regular price for the upcoming non-beta version arriving soon. Along with the course are valuable bonuses, especially getting lifetime access to the course. Purchasing the beta version now gets you full access to the non-beta updated versions later at a $100 off savings. The link for signing up for the course is in the description of this video, or if you're listening later to the podcast, it's in that episode's show notes. So let me show you the course sign-up page. Now showing the full course curriculum now that the course has been launched. So this is where all my online courses are. Currently, I just have the one. I'm going to have some smaller ones that would just be free, but that's something I'm working on with specific topics. So if you were to click on, if you go to courses professorslots.com, you would come to this page where you would choose this course. And I believe I have this loaded. So for people in the live chat, I am going to put the link in the live chat, and I'm just about to enter it. Be careful not to click it without realizing that it's going to take you out of the live stream. So just be aware of that. So there is the link for you. And for the podcast listeners, it is going to be available in the show notes. Oh, I hardly mentioned my co-hosts. If you look kind of like behind me on the floor, there's Emmett, and I also want, and Mary's downstairs comfortably sleeping on the couch with Emmett, of course, with Rudy, of course, the other black and white, of course, lying in the sun. So this is what the page looks like if you've already purchased it. I have to be a participant to check a few things. So this is what you get if you're already registered. So you can, if you can click sign in and then go through the sign up process with your email and password that you chose when you purchase the course. But you can also do the free preview or and all this. So you've seen some of this before, which is what you'll find: my winning methodologies, improved observations, overcoming manipulation. And this is a course curriculum. I'll come back to this in just a second. There's a little bit about me here and Meet Your Instructor. The price, again, it's $97 now for the beta version, but it'll go up to $197 as soon as I finish updating the beta version with a lot of feedback that's coming in. And then there's, of course, bonuses. You get a PDF copy of my book, Learning to Win, the gambling records template that I put together for 2021 and sell elsewhere, but here it's free, and also the lifetime access, which is $100 value. So if you go to the course curriculum and you want to have a better idea what it is that I talk about, what the topics that I cover, well, you can expand this and show the introduction. And the introduction is a bunch of stuff that I make freely available. So you can go in and take a look at those videos about the main goal, pacing yourself, and kind of what I just said about, take your time, get it right. If you skip, then you miss content, things like concepts, words, slots enthusiasts use that you may not have heard of before. And it's important to make sure that you get the foundational information. So anybody who's taken the course has seen that. And then I start off with kind of talking about and I won't go on about this too much, but just to explain to people now that it's launched, what it looks like and the beta version looks like. There's basically one day, day one, and it's a topic. Why is winning at slots possible? Then there's some tasks for you to do and some resources that are there. And this is where I drop in the bonuses, the course, the gambling records, and that's downloads. And so you go to day two, and that's going to be about what it would take for you to win at slots. And I go over that and give you some tasks and resources, and there's a quiz, very simple quiz. Then I go over some of the very basics. If you've never played a slot machine before, we need to go over what's going on. And so these are up to through day 7. And after that, we get into developing your plan, how to win at slots. And then something that's in my book is slot strategies. And then really at that point, you can, you've got the array of things you need to know, and you can move to your basically first steps of improvement. And then there's more free stuff where I talk about topics that didn't get touched on earlier. So that is what that looks like. And I wanted to make sure I shared for the first time what it looks like now that it is launched. Right. So I didn't. Can you see Emmett a little better there? That's Emmett on the floor behind me. And like I said, Mary's sleeping downstairs, and Rudy is lying in the sun, enjoying himself. So thank you again for the donations. And today I think we're all caught up. I look over to the side because that's where my monitor is. So today I'll be Today, I'll be explaining my most popular winning slot strategy, how to test it first to see if it works at your casino, and what specifically you need to do to increase your winnings when it's found to work at your casino. Now, that last bit is new, and the first part is actually updated, as is the testing. So I'll talk about each of those 3 steps to winning at slots. So after over a dozen visits within 3 months at a parimutuel racetrack with slot machines, which is some of the casinos we have in Ohio here. It was outside of Cincinnati, and I found a clear winning pattern I had not seen before. This was a little while ago. So I watched someone else then use myself this pattern. And you should be asking yourself at this point, did I make a profit? Yes, I did. The true power of this strategy one, that you may have seen on my YouTube channel, is that nearly all its winnings are profit. I had help discovering this winning strategy. Many other slots enthusiasts have let me know they've been using this method for years, some for more than 10 years. I even saw it on a Columbo episode from the 70s, the one where he goes on a cruise and solves a murder. But as usual, when I first visit a new to me casino, I engaged. How I found it was I engaged in friendly conversations with any slot attendants and floor managers about how their day was going and if they'd seen recent jackpot winners. They told me about a particular slots player who had won quite a few hand pays when moving from machine to machine, one after another. They just laid out strategy 1 without even realizing it. Yes, a casino employee told me. All I had to do was listen to what they were saying. So I realized that the casino had obviously set up its slot machines to perform this way, and further understood that it was for good business reasons. But unfortunately for casinos implementing what now appears to be a common casino business practice, it's easily leveraged by you because it's an easy to see winning pattern. In practice, it's too easy to see, which I will explain a little bit more about later. So here's the pattern I saw. Every win occurred within the first few bets on a slot machine. After that first win, called a taste, I wouldn't win again for what seemed like a long time, sometimes for hours. I don't know why I played that long. I was mostly at another casino where I've been winning a lot, and it had its own strategy, and I tried that strategy at the second casino, Belterra Park, outside of Cincinnati, and I couldn't believe it wouldn't work. So this is early days for me. And so I want to make sure I clearly state to you, these winning strategies that I have are based on what the casino does as far as common business practices. And if they don't use that particular business practice, and they don't all use all of them, then that strategy depends on them having it. And if they don't, then it doesn't work. And so as I'll mention, as you may know, strategy 1, the 5-spin method, only works at about 1 in 4 casinos. So, and we can't make it work. This is not luck. This is taking advantage of a casino and what they have chosen to do. So here's the pattern I saw. Every win occurred within the first few bets on a slot machine. After that first win, called a taste, I wouldn't win again for what seemed like hours. I saw this behavior again and again on every slot machine I played at that casino. That's the pattern for which I built my 5-spin winning slot strategy. So here that is. With this pattern in hand, I decided to play each slot machine for up to 5 spins. If I won anything at all, I'd immediately stop playing and move on to the next slot machine. That first win is called a taste, where this strategy is essentially about collecting those tastes from machine after machine. There are several consequences of this 5-spin method, which takes advantage of how 1 in 4 casinos have set themselves up. First, it's inexpensive and doesn't require much bankroll to be successful. When I play slots personally, I like to play high-limit slot machines, usually with a bankroll of a couple of $1,000s. But now suddenly all I needed was a much smaller bankroll, say maybe only $500, to use this strategy within the high-limit slots room at casinos where this strategy worked. So that's what I did. When I first tried this strategy myself. I sat at a $5 denomination or $10 denomination slot machine, put my whole $500 bankroll into it, just a personal preference of mine, and played until I made up to 5 bets, but stopped sooner if I won anything at all. Remember, the taste is the first win, no matter how small. Then I'd cash out my voucher and move to the next slot machine and repeat. I did this again and again on machine after machine, right down one row and up another. For that casino at that time, I'd win a taxable jackpot, a hand pay of $1,200 or more before spending a quarter of my bankroll, say $125, on an individual slot machine. During the first visit that I deliberately tried this strategy, I won 3 hand pays on 3 different high limit machines within 25 minutes, each hand pay occurring mere minutes apart, as much of that 25 minutes was taken up with slot attendants servicing each hand pay. The slot operators at this new casino were highly efficient, but nevertheless, each time I won a taxable jackpot, it took about 5 minutes for the slot operator to take my ID, take care of the paperwork, clear the machine, and then go off to retrieve my hand pay for the jackpot I just won. While they were gone, I'd cash out of that slot machine and move on to the next machine, where I'd proceed to again win a jackpot within 5 bets. That's not a lot of time, because then another slot operator would arrive to complete the hand payout requirements. But the second hand pay so soon after the first, I no longer had my ID. The first slot attendant had taken my ID to process that first hand pay. So, I told her it was still in the hands of the first slot operator, but they seemed to accept that. So there wasn't really an issue with getting that second hand pay. By the third hand pay, a few minutes later, I'd already gotten the first 2 hand pays as well as my ID back. For this casino trip to Belterra Park, just outside of Cincinnati, before it was bought by Board Gaming, this 5-spin strategy won. I won 3 hand pays over an actual playing time of about 10 to 15 minutes for a total profit of $6,100 for a 12x return. That's 1,200% of my original $500 bankroll. But why do casinos set up casinos to offer their tastes? The better we understand why they do this, the better we can optimize the strategy. And I've got several optimizations to share with you. So with this strategy, we're taking advantage of the casino, giving a player a quick taste on a machine they've just started playing. If the player wins anything at all, casinos think the player will continue to play using that initial win plus the bankroll they've brought with them. Put another way, casinos want us to stay, spend that initial win, and proceed to empty our pockets into the machine. My 5-pull strategy says do the opposite of what the casino is hoping for. Instead of staying and spending the taste and more, move on immediately to another slot machine and collect its taste. On machine after machine, collect those tastes. Next, I'll talk about testing and optimization of this winning slot strategy, which only works at 1 in 4 casinos, including what to do when casinos lower tastes over time. For instance, over a year and a half after finding this strategy, Belterra Park lowered the size of tastes from hand pays to barely breaking even. But I know how to bring them back to better than breaking even, so stick around for that. Let's check in with the live chat to briefly say hello. And we've gotten a few things that have come in. I already answered the question about Morongo, and right now, I guess currently Magpie 11 is driving back from Vegas. Safe travels. I hope you had a good trip. And some responses about where people are at on the course. Excellent. And I got a thank you from Roman. And let's see, Chuck and Joe from Indiana. Derek is here. Hello. Let's see, Casino Queen and King. What method can I use today at Potawatomi Hotel and Casino? Any ideas? So Wisconsin, Potawatomi, it's a isolated casino basically in the east corner of the state, and there aren't a lot of other casinos near it. And that matters because casinos that don't have a lot of competition can be pretty tough to play at. So my recommendation to you is to, if I had specific information, I would share it. But I have a Facebook group, and not everybody likes Facebook groups, and I understand that. But I have a Facebook group, professorslots.com/FBWI. And that will take you to Facebook, and it'll take you to my private group where I have a couple hundred members. I forget exactly how many are there, and it's private. Otherwise, I'd show you. And ask people that go to Potawatomi. Anybody who joins, I say, "What is your favorite casino?" And if they and why. And if they respond Potawatomi, just look for that, and you can find all sorts of people who go there and who have been testing my strategies for a while. They call it boots on the ground. Anyway, that's should take care of that. How can I, let's see. Yep. Willie Gray says, how can I win in Las Vegas? I have a article on my website. I haven't made a video of it yet. 7 secrets to winning during your Las Vegas visit. So you can go to my website, and can I bring that up quickly? Maybe. So this is my website, and you can go to articles, and one of these is going to be, let's see here, learning, maybe. Have different categories that you can go to, and you can scroll down and find some of my articles. Well, the one I want to give you is actually Las Vegas visit with dashes. So Las Vegas visits, and get rid of the category word here, and hopefully this doesn't, if I spelled it right. I didn't spell it right. Las Vegas visit. Why would you go more than once? Did I get it right? I got it right. So 7 secrets to winning on slots during a Las Vegas visit, where the URL is professorslots.com/Las-Vegas-visit. And so I go through 7 things that you'll want to know. And it's best to get started on those before you go. Let's see here. I got a bunch of questions. Does the slot care if a voucher is out in our cash? I've never found anything to suggest that it matters at all. Gary says, where in downtown Vegas are the best payout slot machines nowadays? If you go to the 7 secrets to winning on slots during your Las Vegas visit, you can look it up, what the most recent one is. The last one I looked up was like a month ago. There's been more recent ones, and you just check. Let's see. Does the slot, you did that one? Okay. Vintage Soul. Can someone let me know if they are seeing my chat, please? Thanks. Sure. In fact, I'm gonna make a small change here. Maybe I can find it. There you go. Now you're in the video. And so I'll put that away. So that's your proof for you. Armin asks, will this method work? Where is it at? Will this method work at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut? I don't know. I didn't try it. I tried it at Foxwoods a couple of years ago, and it did work. But I didn't try Mohegan Sun. And even having a couple articles on what happened at Foxwoods, if you want to go to my website. But basically, at that time it did, and you can. That's what I know about Foxwoods. Sorry, I don't know Mohegan Sun. I was right there for like 3 days, and I didn't go over. Let's see, time is okay, I think. Hello, John. How are winnings at casinos? So in some place, it really does depend on the casino. It's basically a convenience store with slot machines, and that's a title that's often used for Oklahoma. Now, these are actually in Oklahoma, they're tribal casinos. They're just very small. And what you have to do is be careful. If you're talking about Oklahoma casinos that are tribal, they have to have enough slot machines to afford a central server. And most casinos have those except riverboat casinos, as I've mentioned before, because riverboat casinos don't have a floor to tuck all those cables. They have a hull, and you punch through it, you sink. So, but they wish desperately they had them. So smaller sites don't have them. Now you have, if you don't mean these convenience store slot machines in Oklahoma, you might mean the ones in bars and taverns in Illinois. Well, those are all controlled by a central server, even though there's only like 5 or 6 of them in each store, because they're all connected to the lottery system. So I have articles on every state and exactly what's going on with those convenience store slot machines. Wyoming, is it Wyoming or Montana? They just legalized it last March, and before that it was illegal, and now it's not. So you have to see whether or not it's connected to a central server. And small size sites may not be. And so I write an article on every state. I do one a week. It takes me about 13 months to get through all of them, including the territories and the District of Columbia. So it's 56 articles. And look up yours. You can type professorslots.com/ and then the 2-letter postal designation, and that'll take you to that state. And there's a lot of information there about your state. Okay, kind of going on here. Harris Cherokee. Yes. Let me see if I can find that for you. Where is it at? Make sure I share this. Hi, Debbie. Is there a method that will work at Harris Cherokee? Yes. This is strategy 8. Now, I haven't made a video on strategy 8. I talked about it 3 weeks ago, I think it was, in a live stream, and I need to make a video about it. It's where you listen to the casino, and when it gets busy, you play, and when it's not busy, you don't play, and you're waiting for the odds to be turned up by the casino, and that's how you can tell. Now, this isn't because the football game got out and everybody came to the casino, the numbers changed. No. Basically, no change in how many people are there. It's just suddenly everybody's winning. And so the hardest part about that strategy is, what do you do when you're waiting? It's not exactly convenient for having a place to sit. Casinos aren't designed that way. So you have to figure out a way to just wait. And I know that there are some people who like to play slowly, low minimum bet, on a machine. And that can take up some time while you listen and wait. And that's the strategy that works at Harris Cherokee. Others may too, but and you can check in the North Carolina group if you want to see what other people think, but that's what I know, and that's what I'm sharing. Questions. Magpie. John, on your high limits 5-pull method, were you playing maximum bet? Yeah, I took that word out of my presentation today because I've gotten a lot of questions from a lot of people. This is an updated version of the 5-pull method, and people were like, well, maximum bet is like on $1,000 denomination machine is, that's really expensive. And I'm like, what? No, stop. So I did play maximum bet, and that's kind of like its own little topic, its own little strategy. There are rules in many games where you are limited by what can happen. The bonus rounds may not take place unless you do maximum bet, but I didn't want anybody to spend more than they were comfortable spending. So yes, I was betting maximum bet, but it was a $5 machine or a $10 machine. Maximum bet was 3 credits. And this this maximum bet on like a video slots machine is like $10. That, I was betting that much or less in the high limit room. So it's kind of like a sore point, and I'm trying to avoid people How dare you say bet maximum? I don't have $3,000 to make a single bet with, and yeah, $500 denomination machines or $100 denomination machines. The golden rule of slots gambling is to stay within your budget. So yes, I was playing maximum bet, but I wasn't playing the maximum bet available from the high limit room. I guess I'll leave that. Right. Does this CS Firecam, does the slot machine change its odds if a voucher or cash is inserted? The odds are changed when the player changes. So it's not because the voucher or the cash was inserted, but if you just sat down with the machine, that's when the odds change. I hope that distinction is clear. It's not a changing of the odds if you put it in a voucher or if you put it in a cash. It's because you're new to the machine, and it doesn't necessarily change the odds, but it has the opportunity when no one's on the machine to change the odds. This gets a little subtle. And Camilla AC 2000, have you been to Harrah's Hoosier Park? They're removing winning machines and are extremely tight. Yeah, you might want to Hoosier Park. Yes, Indiana. So I think that the last live stream 3 weeks ago was on Indiana, and you should go watch that because because it's all about the return statistics. And this year, I think at the time, those only the first 3 months were available. It was like taking a nosedive as far as how tight things were. So, yeah, I don't know about removing the machines though. There's a lot of that going on because they weren't able to get stuff in, and because of the pandemic, social distancing, and they've been delayed on doing some changes, and so a lot of them are taking place. So it's a great time to renovate the casino, but it was a hard time to work in the casino. All right. I'm going to have to maybe take a break here to get back to the systems. Debbie says, I think it's a similar question. Do your systems apply to places where there is only one or two or a few casinos? If they have it, they have it. It's very common, but they have to choose to have it. And I don't know, if they will. I only know 1 in 4. So it is, if you're in, and for this strategy 1. Now, the other stuff, if things are tight, and that hurts anything, in any strategy, but it doesn't kill them. It just makes it a little bit tougher. And one of the reasons why casinos can be tight, excluding pandemic related stuff, is if a casino is if a casino is by itself. And we've already talked about that a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to point you to my main page, and I will show you all the way towards the bottom is this as featured on ABC 27, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Evening News. And if you watch that, you'll see how they control these things and whether or not, what happens when you got one or a few casinos. It's about Penn National, which is in eastern Pennsylvania, far away from Philadelphia, and Harrisburg only has the one casino, but Philadelphia has many. So the last few seconds of the anchors talking to one another will talk about, well, our casino doesn't have competition, and that matters. And why did they say that? Because I told them so during a very long interview, of which they used maybe a minute of my talking. But yeah, so there's these questions. These are answers to your questions. Right. Yeah, I knew that. No, I haven't been to every casino. Someone asked about a casino in California. If I were to go to 2 casinos, interesting math situation. If I were to go to 2 casinos per week, it would take me 10 years to get to all of them. So I can't go to every casino. And that's partly why I'm here trying to talk to, a million people, not a million people, 1,200 people, and having my, got 1 million, pushing 2 million views on my videos so I can reach more people instead of physically being there. I'd love to be there, but I'm just going to have to check a few here and there. And that's why I've set things up the way I have. Right. So again, you can join professorslots.com/FBCA for the California private Facebook group, and ask people who go to that casino regularly. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Gianna, thank you so much for the donation. Excellent. Let's see here. Did I miss something? I think I missed a question from Jan. Now, Jan has asked me this question, and it's a good time to try to answer it, and we'll get back to what I need to talk about next. But did you, and I'll try to take this as the point where I'm going to switch over. Do you ever stay at a machine if it's paying? And that's a good question. It's kind of a have your cake and eat it too. My recommendation is that if you're going to use strategy 1, then you use strategy 1. If it works, and we'll talk about how that works, you'll win something. And then you have a hard decision to make, which is, do you abandon strategy 1, or do you stay at the machine because you think it's a winner? You think there might be more to it than that initial taste. So that's a different strategy. And I talk about, and one of the things I've put together but haven't presented on yet, maybe I'll do that next time in the live stream or make a video in the meantime, is just if you want to abandon strategy 1, then you need to switch over to something else. And that would be make 10 bets. If you don't win anything, leave the machine. But if you want to taste, then you won something. Go to 20 bets and decide, did you win enough to continue? Then go to 50 bets total and decide again, if you haven't won anything since, early, that, decide, do we stay, do I go? And then from that point, go to up to 120 total bets, because if you decide to continue at 50 bets, and see how's it going. That's when you make a decision. Is it a winning machine or is it not a winning machine? And I'll have a video on exactly how to go through this. But at 120 bets, if you decide to continue to play, you have decided that it's a winning machine. Now, it could change an hour later or half an hour later or something, but that's the process that you go through. But you can't do 2 strategies at once. You have to pick one. And if you won because of strategy 1, I would say stick with it. And then, you can go through a lot of machines, like all the machines in a high limit room, and, you're done. And it wouldn't take more than half an hour, less. And so you might want to just finish and then start the next. It's a hard decision. Oh, do I stay or do I go? Do I use what's working or do I, take a chance? We're all gamblers. It's your decision. Good luck. As I say, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. That's part of the reason why. All right. So, right. So now maybe you want to know how to test. Let's get back to the topic. Now, maybe you want to, I'll look at more questions later. Now, maybe you want to know how to test if your casino offers tastes before heading off to the high limit room with a $500 bankroll. I know we're all gamblers, but I care about nobody. I care about people losing money when there's a test you could use first, which is easy and inexpensive. My 5-spin method takes advantage of a common casino business practice used at about 1 in 4 casinos. For casinos to be fair from a legal perspective, casinos that give out tastes must give them out on all their slot machines. It doesn't have to happen, but whatever it is that they've done to their slot machine, it's done to all the slot machines because it's a matter of being fair. They don't get in trouble. It's fair. So this is very helpful because when you use it to test if our casinos give out tastes before making big bets in its high limit slot room, you could certainly test the 5-spin method in the high limit slot room first instead of using the low limit machines out on the casino floor, but that'll risk your bankroll at 3 out of 4 casinos just to find that 1 out of 4 casinos which has set itself up to offer tastes. And a lot of people work with small bankrolls, and that's should not be an issue of working with small bankrolls. You don't have to increase your bankroll size. This is a way to win with small bankrolls. So, okay, here's how to test if your casino gives out tastes. head to the main casino floor. Sorry, I had to check to see if I was getting a super chat. So find 20 machines with the smallest minimum bets you can find. Feel free to use any machine. Most casinos now have mostly penny machines, penny slots, but these can be expensive to play even at minimum bet. There's the same risk out on the main casino floor with low limit slots as with high limit, but the minimum bankroll needed is much less compared to high limit slot machines. How much less? Well, if you play slot machines in New Zealand, as I happen to hear from a fan in New Zealand, penny slots in New Zealand still allow you to make 1 credit bets, but not so in U.S. casinos anymore, where the smallest bets I found lately, as in last weekend, is 45-cent minimum bets on a nickel machine. When did this happen? So the smallest bets, I didn't go to a lot of casinos during the pandemic. I just went to my local one, and I hadn't noticed minimum bets have been increasing. There used to be a nickel on a nickel machine and a penny on a penny machine. Now that's all gone. It kind of slipped by me, and now I'm getting caught up. So that's one of the updates to this test, is what is the minimum bet? The smallest bets I found on penny slots was 68 cents on Asian themed machines. Most of them have 88 cents minimum, but I've heard some others that they say that there's a minimum bet of 30 cents. And so you have to see what that is. So a 45-cent per bet, 5 bets at 45 cents per bet, 5 bets on 20 nickel machines is $45. But we want half or more of the machines to offer a taste for the test to be successful. That means if the first 10 machines require all 5 bets and there are no tastes that are won, you've spent half of that $45 or just over $20 to find out that casino doesn't offer tastes. So for penny slot machines with an 88-cent minimum bet, your bankroll would need to be $5 per machine. It's just under $5. For 10 machines with no taste won, you've lost nearly $50. For 20 machines, you might want a $100 bankroll for convenience. Put another way, if you don't win a taste on the first 10 machines out of 20 machines, the test has failed, and you can stop. Stop spending money, stop wasting money. You can conclude that casino doesn't give out tastes. With that understanding in mind, put your bankroll into one of these machines. Now figure out how to make a minimum bet. Next, make up to 5 minimum bets, but stop if you win anything at all. This is the 5-spin method. Now, repeat this on 10 different slot machines. Keep track of how many of those 10 machines give you a taste. If you win any tastes at all, continue until you've tested 20 different machines while also continuing to keep track of how many of those 20 machines gave you a taste. So 20 machines total. How many of them gave you a test? So there's different ways to evaluate the results of this test. First, there's the math approach. How many machines gave you a taste? An initial win. Second, how many machines did you test? Okay, here comes the math. Divide how many machines gave you a taste by how many machines you tested. Was it half of them or 50%? That's good. That's good. Was it 15 out of 20 or 75% of them? That's great. Was it all of them? That's excellent. Half or more machines giving a taste is a successful taste. Although the more it's above 50%, the more successful the test was for that casino. The second evaluation, and this is where some people came into an issue, and this is what some of the things I'm adding to the testing method, is the second evaluation is to look to see how much your bankroll was that you had left over. With 50% or more machines giving out tastes, what was your return? If you started with an initial $100 bankroll, it's easy to determine your percentage return. If your bankroll is now 84% after running the test, as it was for me last weekend at Soaring Eagle in Michigan, tribal casino, where 16 out of 20 machines, that's 80%, gave out a taste. I didn't have $100 left. I had less. I had $84. So I had an 84% return. I lost $16 running the test. So at that casino, for my test that I ran, I found they did give out tastes, but I also found that they've reduced the amount of the tastes to be breaking even or less. But that's not the end. If your taste is unsuccessful at your casino, you can try to test again some other time, but you'll want to consider what other casinos are near you, are available to you to also test. If your test, are we doing on time? Good. If your test is successful, was successful at your casino, with half or more machines giving out a taste, you have several options in front of you about what to do next. If you make a huge profit, you've got yourself a winning slot strategy for however long the casino lets it continue. Remember, at my casino, it took 1.5 years before the casinos reduced their tastes down from hand pays to break even sizes. If your test was successful at your casino, but you made only a small profit, or if you broke even, or if you suffered a loss, you have a decision to make. Is it good enough? It exists. The 5-spin strategy works, but is it good enough? And this comes back to your gambling goals. All 3 outcomes, small profits, breaking even, or small losses, are great for the goals of entertainment and earning comps, because you're effectively found a way to cycle your bankroll, or nearly cycle your bankroll, for a long time. It's stretching it out, if not slightly growing, if not just hovering at the same value. So while you're thinking about what's good enough, I'll give you something else to think about, which can help you improve your results. The 5-spin method is my first winning strategy, number 1, also called only win immediately. Nobody uses that, but that's what I originally called it. But I have a total of 9 numbered slot strategies. This is important because some of those strategies combine well to become even better when done together. And strategy 9 works well with strategy 1. What Jan was asking earlier was actually trying to put together 2 strategies that don't kind of like fit together. But strategy 1 and strategy 9, they lock into place beautifully. And so I want to share how to use these 2 strategies together. So I haven't made a video on strategy 9. I've only explicitly numbered it recently, and I've called it location, 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 after a realty joke. Top 3 most important things about buying a house: location, location, location. So I had a recent live stream from 2 months ago called Slots, the Thinking Person's Game, where I explained strategy 9. You'll find a link to that live stream video in the video description after the show, as well as in this podcast episode show notes tomorrow. So rather than give the full explanation now for strategy 9, location, 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 I'll just share how to improve your return from strategy 1. Here it is. Repeat your test of strategy 1 on 20 machines, but this time only play slot machines located on the end of a row. That's it. That's the modification. At Soaring Eagle on Sunday, after getting a 84% return on a $100 bankroll, a second test of another 20 machines with another $100 bankroll, where those 20 machines were on the end of a roll, resulted in a $161 bankroll. So to be clear, playing only end of row slot machines changed the results from an 84% return to a 161% return, and a $14 loss to a $61 profit. Now that's how you can improve your results from casinos where the 5-spin method works, but the tastes they provide aren't as profitable as you'd like. Okay, so before I answer some more questions, it's a little later in the show, and we have a bunch of people now. At the beginning of the show, we had a few people, and with let's see, analytics, and now we've got 166 people. So I'm going to repeat something that I said earlier in the show. With its successful launch a week ago, you can now purchase and get immediate access to my first online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. It can be completed at a leisurely pace of 1 lesson per day, or if you want to be less leisurely, a whole lot faster. Yes, it can be completed in a day, if a rather long day, but I advise taking the course a bit slower so that you get the most from it. My online course is not designed to be difficult, but some concepts may require time to consider before moving on to the next lesson. Until now, we've all been self taught at playing slots. We've done the best we could without any help getting started at slots, and this online course is my attempt to fix that unfortunate long occurring circumstance. This online course is a beta test version, discounted over 50% and get off 50% off and get lifetime access to the updated improved non-beta version soon to be released. Once updated, I'll be raising the price to its regular price from $97 and it'll go up to $197. So get it now to take advantage of it being $100 off now. The link for registering is in this video's description, and for those here live, I'll insert it. And I think I have that here. Yes. Be careful on clicking on the link now, or you might leave the live stream. Along with the course are some valuable bonuses, especially getting lifetime access to the course, meaning purchasing now saves you $100 off, and full access to all future updated non-beta improved versions of the course. Now, here's what the course sign up looks like, and I'll share that with you here. So let's see. So if you go to courses.professorslots.com/courses/30 days, which you just saw, and you'll see this page, and it has what you'll learn. There's a course curriculum that goes into detail. There's some initial introduction. There's some free content that you can preview, which you can watch to get you started, but the actual course starts with section 1. And if I were to expand that, you begin to see some of the day one, the tasks associated with it, the resources, that the download of my book, PDF version of my book, also the gambling records. That's what the second bonus is. Then day 2 topic starts, and then there's more to go from there. So this will help you no longer be self-taught at slots, and for its price, it's I think a very good deal, and it's going up. As soon as I've already started working on the beta version to turn it into a non-beta version, and I'll upload all that, and at the same time increase the price by $100. So might want to get it now before it goes up. Let's see here. So I'm going to switch over to the live chat again and see what other questions there are, and what people might have. I think there might be more than a few. Let's see. I'm just going to go for another 7 minutes and just answer them one by one. I may very well give priority to those that are members of my YouTube channel membership, because they have the little symbol next to them, and if it's like 2 months, 2+ or 3+, that's indication of how many months they've been a member. Let's see. Mel asked a question. I thought about it, and I decided to start making a list of casinos in Las Vegas that have tastes, and it's best. I mean, I provide a testing procedure so you can do it yourself, but I've heard that Paris does on the Strip, off Strip. What is it called? Trying to remember the name of that. I'll have to think of it. Yeah. Sorry, it's drawing a blank. Downtown, it doesn't work at the D, and doesn't work at El Cortez, I've been told. Paris, it does. Excalibur, no. And it seems like there was a couple more downtown. And I'd love to be able to tell you, but this is from people who have been making trips in the last couple of weeks, and I hesitate to use any information I have from like last year or my own trip, last time I was in Las Vegas, because things can change at a casino over a year or so. So you have a test procedure, check it out, and see. Wow, look at all this. Lots of questions. So Jason asks, should the 5-spin method be used in early morning when there's fewer people? There is a reason to do it then. It's one of those, it's it's at a casino or it's not at a casino. The only real adjustments they can do is kind of like over time lower the amounts. If you're not able to play machines on the end of the row, or what we just finished talking about, because they're busy, then that would be a fine time to go when there's fewer people. Now, if you are in, and I know Jason does do this, if you play high limit, and it's packed in the high limit room during main hours, and you don't have the opportunity to play very many machines, then you can do that. There's strategy 6, which is up till now has really been the only, what still is really the only strategy that is actually a bunch. It's like 3 strategies and 2 sub strategies and a best practice. I all kind of rolled into one. So there's this thing called idle machines that can often have a factor, but I just to keep this kind of non-advanced, is to say, yeah, if you can't play a machine, then you can't play a machine, and going when you can is a better idea. And idle machines is another one of those little things. Idle machines, but I don't want to get too complicated by saying idle machines on the end of a row. I don't want to demand people get there 4 o'clock in the morning. Some people don't like that. Some people do. Right. Thanks, Steve. Steve is great. CS Firecam says, a firefighter from California, thank you for your service. Thanks for helping us out. So appreciative. You're welcome. Thank you. So got a few more seconds. Stan says, yes, I moved to the next machine for any win amount. Most of my tastes were on the 4th spin, some on the 5th or 3rd spin. That is why my return was 75%. Yeah. One of the things that I didn't talk about is why 5 spins? Why not 3 spins? And you could try 3 spins, or you could try 8 spins. There's things that you can try, but learn the strategy first before you start making changes. Casino Queen and King, to test the taste, can I bet any amount or a certain one? Any amount. That it's a casino-wide, all slot machines. Not that every slot machine will give you a win. It's 75% or 50%, but it's on all slot machines. And so why not just play the cheaper ones to test it, and the more expensive ones when it works? That's what I'm suggesting. Okay. Let's see here. Did I miss anything? I want to make sure I checked if anyone who is a member missed something. Magpie 11 says they have made a commitment to study and work on the course 5 hours this week. I'm working on a note-taking system because it's not easy to sit somewhere in the casinos to write in a journal. No. Appreciate that. Let's see. Someone asked about Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Tampa. Busy mommy reviews. Let's see if I can find that and show everyone. Well, I'll just have to say it out loud. I have found that it works at a Seminole casino, but not the one in Tampa. I found it worked at Seminole Brighton. And this was a couple of years ago, and you want to check more recently. But that was a casino I went to for my father, who's a bingo player, but his wife, who has since passed, unfortunately, she wanted to win. And so I explained, I went and flew and spent 3 hours with them in the casino and explained how. But that's the a family discount, and I can't, if it takes me 10 years to go to 2 casinos a week to get to all the U.S. casinos, I can't come to see you. That would take more than I'll live. Right. Um, okay. So just to kind of wrap this up, thanks for a great show. If you're watching this video later, um, uh, you know, the links will be available in the video description. The live chat isn't going to be available except what I put on the screen. And if you're listening on the podcast, stick around and we'll move into the next segments of the show. As always, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Have fun at the casinos. I'll talk to you later.